think that you don't like it, but you're the one that's thinking them because you control your mind. Hello, it's me, Bree. That was so corny. Welcome back to my channel. I've been gone for a long time. If you're new here, you don't even know that, so I shouldn't even speak on it. Anyways, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the books that I have read so far. And basically, I'm going to be talking about 3 books. The reason that I even thought to do this video is because I'm like moving into my new apartment and I was about to put like my books on the shelves. So I was like, you know what, let me go over, think about like the books that I've read so far. But yeah, let's get into it. Honestly, the fact that I like really took notes on books and like prepared like a little lesson, I guess, like I feel like a teacher or a preacher or something like that, but you know, like we're here now, we'll just get over it. But anyways, this is the first book. It's called Outwitting the Devil and it's by Napoleon Hill. I read this book on I started reading it on a trip to Vegas. I was just happy to read it at the time. It honestly sounds like a kind of religious book, but it's not really. The devil that it refers to is like negative energy, and basically it's saying that the negative energy just like occupies the free space in your mind. And fear is like the man-made devil. And so basically you just have to transfer fear into faith. You just have to like be able to speak confidently about what you want to happen next. So like if you're in poverty and you're afraid that you're not gonna have money or whatever, like you shouldn't dwell on that, because whatever you dwell on, like give your attention to, like that desire is going to happen. Speak confidently and know that like good things are going to happen, and whenever you focus on that, then positivity comes. So basically it's saying that like God is the creator of everything, and the devil only focuses on human minds because he wants our minds to be like full of negativity, so that if we were to die with fear in our hearts and our minds, then our energy like just turns to negative energy and makes the devil stronger, because it's just like more negative energy going there. So yeah, focus on positivity. Also, what the book speaks on is the devil's enemy being those who like inspire thought and act like on their own, basically people who have control of their mind, because the easiest people to like influence and manipulate and get just like caught up in their circumstances are drifters. And drifters, it's referring to people who kind of like are lazy and procrastinate and are kind of like indifferent, and like I mean like they couldn't care less if like this or this happens. Like well, that's just like one trait, but these drifters basically like aren't really thinking for themselves. So it's saying you need to be a person who is like coming up with your own thoughts and doing your own things and stuff like that. It also had an equation for success, and me, I really like math and numbers. This obviously didn't have any numbers, but it was an equation, so I'm gonna read it to you. Passion plus talent times seeking the right association times taking the right action, so all of that, plus faith in yourself and your mission. It makes sense to me, honestly. It makes sense. Like whenever I saw that equation, I was like, you're right. You're right. You're right. But yeah, some other things it was saying about like failure is don't stop 3 feet from gold. Like don't be working on something and then you think like it's a failure or something hasn't gone your way and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna quit, like maybe this is just a sign that's over with. No, like whenever you fail, it's time for you to like rearm yourself, like readjust and sit down and think about like, why did this fail? Like, what can I do to like cure the problem and make it actually like work the next time? Yeah. Oh, and ask the right questions. It was saying Outwitting the Devil. Basically, it's saying that like once you know these things and you're self-confident and you have faith and all this stuff, like if somebody tries to come at you with negativity or the devil like is working through somebody to get you, like you're gonna be able to ask the right questions to be like, no, this is bullshit, I'm not going for it. Anyways, that was Outwitting the Devil. That's what I learned from that book. On to the next one. That was cheesy. Okay, alright, that's all I learned from that book. Not that's all I learned. We have Celestine Prophecy. This is by James Redfield. Who put me onto this? I was being like a personal assistant to this guy. To this day, I don't know if it was like a legit job or not. Like I really don't. I was like helping build apps and websites and coding and like stuff like that. It was really fun. But anyways, whenever we would link to do work, we would like smoke together every single time before we did any work, but we still like did work for like 5 hours after that. One day, like while we were smoking and having like a deep conversation, he put me on this book, and yeah, I'm gonna tell you what I learned from it. So I'll tell you what it's about. So yeah, Celestine Prophecy. It's basically about this manuscript from like 600 BC, and the manuscript is supposed to like basically the manuscript teaches us how to expand human consciousness to change the perspective of life. It has 8 insights, so I'm just gonna go over what the 8 insights are. The first one, insight number 1, has to do with like realizing that coincidences happen. Everybody knows what a coincidence is, like, oh, what a coincidence. But basically it's saying that like they're not coincidences, or like they are, but realize they're happening for a reason. Okay, for example, this girl, she told me that she was thinking one day, I need more money, but I want something chill and it's not too much work, but I want another job, whatever. And so she was like on the way to the job that we have, and she was like getting out of the car, and then like driving past was this man who she used to like nanny for, and then he was like, oh hey, like, oh my god, it's funny running into you, we actually still need help, we still need a nanny, like, do you want a job again, basically. And so like somebody would say like, oh, what a coincidence, but this book is basically saying that like that's not a coincidence, like that was designed to happen. Insight number 2 is basically saying that like we were so preoccupied with material survival and like control that we weren't realizing what was going on around us, and we weren't realizing like where we get energy from. Insight number 3 is basically saying that like our universe, like our physical universe or like our earth, is pure energy, so we can get energy from our surroundings. So moving on, insight number 4 is basically saying that like we were taught from young children, like from when we were all jits, that we were taught to steal energy from other people, and this is basically like in the form of attention, and then the reason that we steal energy from other people is because we have a depletion of energy in ourselves, because we are not getting it from the source. Like we're not outside in the sun, we're not like walking on dirt with no shoes on, you feel me? Like stuff like that. I mean, not really stuff like that, because okay. So the 5th insight says that like we can get our energy from the source if we open up to it, like if we allow it and receive it. So the 6th insight is saying that like whenever we were children, whenever we were jits, we learned how to steal energy through stealing attention from our parents, and this was called these unconscious control dramas. And these control dramas, I think there's 4 of them. It's like intimidator, interrogator, being aloof, and being a poor me. Whatever your parents were or a parent was, you're typically like the opposite. Like basically, if it's like an interrogator and they keep asking you a whole bunch of questions and then you just like start being really quiet, you don't really talk unless they keep asking you a lot of questions again, then like you'll go off somewhere else in the world, like to school or something like that, and you want attention or you want energy from somebody, or you want attention from somebody, and so you start to think to your head like, okay, maybe if I sit here and I be really quiet, this person is gonna come like ask me a whole bunch of questions, and then it works and you're like, oh okay, so like the way to get attention from people or the way to get people to come to me and give me their energy is if I sit here and I be quiet. And then like the other person is like, oh, I want her to talk to me, I want her energy. Like they're being quiet, so I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna be an interrogator and I'm gonna ask her a whole bunch of questions, so she's forced to answer me, and while she's answering me, she's giving me all of her energy. So it's like that. Yeah, so whenever you're like acting in this way or doing this, like the conversations you're having is not fully you having these conversations or you talking about things that you truly want to talk about. Like you're legitimately just doing it for energy, and you're legitimately just having these conversations or whatever for attention. They're not really you or anything, like it's just attention. So basically it's saying that like you have to get your energy from source so that you can stop trying to get your energy from other people. And once you let go of these control dramas and you stop being like aloof just so that people come ask you questions, you stop being an interrogator just so people like answer your questions, you stop being an intimidator to scare people into like making you feel powerful, or you stop being like a poor me, like oh, and like you just like, if you stop being these 4 things just to get attention or whatever, then you'll truly be who you like actually are. Like, you'll just be yourself. You won't be doing anything for attention anymore. The 7th insight is talking about like consciously evolving. If you build up enough energy and you are trying truly to continue to evolve, these coincidences will continue to happen, like back to back to back to back to back. I don't know, it's like your path like gets guided better, and these things happen to help you along your way a lot faster. And so like instead of just like wandering off all these different ways, it's like you're really on this clear path. That was a lot. A couple things that I got from the book as well was that if you accept love and you're constantly in this like love state, like you just have like love and appreciation and gratitude for everything, nobody can really take more energy from you than you can like reproduce and give back to yourself, or even like give to them as well. The last book that I want to talk about, the 3rd book, is called The Power of Now. I don't have the book here with me to show you what it looks like or to remember who the author is, because I think that I gave it to somebody to borrow or to read, to have, because I don't even remember who I gave it to. I just don't have it. But anyways, The Power of Now. It basically talks about like it starts off by talking about the relationship that you have with your mind, and basically like you are not your thoughts, you observe your thoughts. So whenever you think something, you have the power to choose like, should I go with this thought? Should I believe this thought? Is this really how I think? Things like that. The author starts off by saying he was having like suicidal thoughts, and then he was able to like not identify with them, because too, whenever you identify with your thoughts, that is what is the ego. And so whenever people say like, oh, you have a really big ego, not you, or they have a really big ego, it's because they think like, oh, I'm the best person here, and they truly believe it, and they identify with that thought, and their actions show that. So, but if you stop being addicted to your thoughts, even if it's like making you upset, the fact that you continue to think about that thing means you're addicted to these thoughts. Like, you keep going back to these thoughts. You think that you don't like it, but you're the one that's thinking them because you control your mind. I need to choose to think about something else. I need to choose to talk about something else. And so you stop giving that parasite power, and like you stop being addicted to your thoughts. But I digress. Accept and then act. Like, whenever something happens, like, accept it and then act. Don't act off of emotion, because emotion is just your body's reaction to your thoughts. Like, you know, if you're emotional, you start to cry. Like, tears in like your face, like getting some type of way, or your face looking angry, your face looking happy, like that emotion is your body's reaction to your thoughts. So if you can control your thoughts, which you can, then you can control your emotions, and you can control like how you act. But yeah, the book is called The Power of Now. So also, it's talking about nothing exists besides right now. So like, don't give too much thought to the past. If something bad happened in the past, we already talked about this, like, it's a pain body, like, you're addicted to it, get over it. If something good happened in the past, you don't want to be like, oh, those were my glory days, I'll never get those days back, like, everything was good then, I was happy then. No, and that literally doesn't even exist anymore. Like, you brought it to the now in a form of a memory, but it doesn't exist. All that exists is right now. And like, the future, you do want to like have goals, and you do want to like create this design and this plan for your life. However, you don't want to dwell on the future too much either, because you want to be in the present. You want to find like joy in that individual day, like now, because that's all that exists. And like, if you always are like chasing the future, chasing a goal, you're never going to be happy, you're never going to be satisfied, you're never going to be fulfilled, because the future doesn't exist. Like, all that exists is right now. That's what I learned from the 3 books. I have like a whole pile of books right here, to be honest. It's not like too big, but if you don't mind, I'm gonna like share the ones that I have and that I want to like read next. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, I want to share this information, but I also want to like look back on it myself and be like, did I read those books? How fast did I read those books? I really need to read these books, so if you guys could do me a favor and bully me in the comments and be like, sorry, you're illiterate, you read slow, you need to get 3 books read by this time or else, it may help me. So like, spam the comments and tell me to read so I can read faster and read more. Anyways, this one is called Get Out of My Head, and it is about taking ownership of the mental real estate inside of your head, and like you choosing what you give your time to. Like, you're not finna sit at home and think about work. You're not finna be doing something that is not worth your time. Like, take ownership of your mind, take ownership of your time, all that. And I'm only like the first chapter, and I was given that book, I didn't buy it. 1 million followers, how I built a massive social media following in 30 days. I read 20 pages of this book like a year ago, and it's pathetic that I didn't pick it up and finish it, because I could have 1 million followers right now, maybe. But I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna get to it, okay? Next, we have Atomic Habits. I bought this recently off of Amazon, and I really wanna read it. I heard a lot about it. I feel like I kind of have some like generic books that like everybody has, but I want to read them. And also, like, if you like can recommend some books or whatever, that would be nice. I also have Think and Grow Rich, haven't read it yet, heard a lot about it. Obviously, it's still in the plastic, and I need to rip it out so I can be acting brand new and brand rich, okay? So The Prophets. My great aunt gave me this book, and she gave me this book like 2 years ago maybe. It's so small and I still haven't read it, and I'm kind of ashamed of that. It'll get done. Ancient Healing Secrets. If you know me, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I've been making my own juices. If you know me, you know I make smoothies, and I have a whole bunch of different like herbs and vitamins and nutrients, supplements, everything like that. I don't take medicine. I love vegetables. Like this I am into. Like I want to have a garden. I want to grow herbs and stuff. So Fresh Wind, Fresh Fire. I met this woman for a couple days. I need to give y'all some story times, to be honest, and yeah, comment if you want some story times. But anyways, I only knew this woman for a couple days. She recommended me this book, and I bought the book, but I never read it, and this was years ago as well, which is so bad. Like, I really need to pick up these books and read them. What's wrong with me? Like, I need to put down my phone and pick up a book. Okay, so we have Beyond Ascension, how to complete the 7 levels of initiation. So this is The Bible is Black History. It's a short book as well. I really want to read it, like for real. I heard about this book so long ago, and then this is the 3rd time I tried to order this book on Amazon. And it's just funny because like I ordered it with stuff, I got everything else, and I didn't get the book. I ordered it again, the same thing happened, and then I ordered it like just by itself, and I got it, which is weird. But yeah. Lost Boy Found. This is a novel, fiction. Yeah, it's just a story. I don't really read stories. Like I wanted to like learn something kind of about like evolution or like something from a book to like change my perspective, because I feel like the reason I be reading books like this is because I feel like I wasn't put on game. Like I don't know what's going on, so I have to read books like this. Some people aren't even into shit like this. I don't know. So I was like, let me just read a book for funsies, but like I don't know if I'll really read it. Looking at it, the cover now reminds me of a book I read in school called like The Boy with a Red Kayak or something like that. I may read it. Okay, the last one, this is How to Raise Successful People. I don't plan on raising anybody anytime soon, but I saw this at Ollie's, which is like a discount store in Atlanta. I never heard of it before I moved here, but I don't plan on having a child for years, but when I do, baby, they're gonna be successful. Okay. Yes, that was a long rant about books. I'm sorry if this was like a nerdy video, but I hope you liked it. Everybody who's this far, I'm sure you did. And I hope that you like got information, or you want to read a book now, or you already read one of these books and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that. But I'm gonna make more videos, I promise. And I feel like I'm being so cringe right now. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, comment for real, tell me to read. And yeah, I'll be back. Thank you for watching. Bye.